for joining us today on Coffee With. You'll notice that we're in a little bit different surroundings. We're at the Adolph Rose building on Clay Street at the old Strand Theatre, a very historic building in Vicksburg, and we're here with the Westside Theatre Foundation players, and they've done some renovations in here, which you don't want to miss. You're going to want to come and see the building, and they have a play that's opening. This is your first play here since y'all have done the renovations? Open in the theater on Friday, June the 17th with I Love You, You're Perfect, Now Change. Did I get that right, guys? All righty. So we have Rusty, Christina, John, and Jennifer. Okay, so somebody tell me about I Love You, You're Perfect, Now Change, because that sounds like some old relationships that I've had.
That's exactly what it's about.
Okay, well tell me about it, John.
A study in relationships. It goes from the time that you start dating someone all the way until death. And it's told in like different vignettes. What, 10 different vignettes, which with only 4 cast members, there's a lot of costume changing. But
so this is everybody. This is it.
We play about 10 different characters.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, and it's all music. There are some words, but it's mostly set to music.
So it's primarily a musical.
Oh, okay. So I mean, it's again 10 different vignettes, short stories, and each one has an associated musical number that goes with it.
Now, how did y'all decide on this particular production?
Well, I'll be honest with you, I had never heard of it until Jack brought it to our attention while they were doing Hairspray over there. Jack Burns, our esteemed producer, Jack Burns. But he brought it to our attention, and he said that he would really like to do this show, but he needed 4 really strong characters to do it. So he had at first approached Christina and I, and we both said yes, we'd be willing to do it. And after we read the script, it was really yes. And then we needed 2 other people, and so we suggested Jennifer and Rusty, who weren't involved with Hairspray either. So the 4 of us kind of got together, and when we read the script, it was like, oh yeah, we got to do the show.
If I'm not mistaken, this is going to tell my age a little bit, I believe this ran either Broadway or off-Broadway for many, many, many years.
In 96. It debuted on Broadway in 1996.
Okay, well, see, I was thinking it was long before that.
It ran, I think, 9 years off-Broadway.
That's a long time.
Right, it debuted on Broadway, but I do believe it was off-Broadway for several years before that.
So, Jennifer, what are some of the roles that you play?
I'm going to play a nerdy person who's going on a date and doesn't really know how to act. And then I'm going to be a mother in one scene, older mother, and I'm going to be,
A bridesmaid.
a bridesmaid and also a bride.
And what do you think is so much fun about, and as we're talking, we can hear construction going on in the back. And the good news is that we look like we're kind of sweaty right now because it's a little hot in here. But today, which is Tuesday, the air conditioner is being connected. So by Friday, when the production starts, we will have cool air here.
Don't let it stop you.
We'll give him the first standing ovation.
Yes, if it happens right now, right?
Absolutely.
So Jennifer, how did you get involved with the Westside Theatre Foundation?
I actually went to see Chicago when they did it at the Vicksburg Hotel. And when I saw it, I was inspired by the show and the way it was presented and the venue it was presented in. And I was looking for something to try that was new. I'd never done anything like that before. Just sang in church growing up. And I said, I've got to try this. So I tried out for Rock and Roll and did that.
And the rest is history.
Right.
Rusty, what about you?
Oh, actually, it's really strange. My wife was the music director for the group, and they were doing a show called Always Patsy Climbs. All music, country music.
Sure.
And Annie told me, I told them no about 500 times. I didn't have time to do it. They actually called me to do it. And I think I played for Chicago. I played in Pittsburgh. And it's a
Rocky Horror?
Well, I was in Rocky Horror, yeah. When Rocky Horror came up, I had never been in a play before. And that's not much on being a pit man because you get one bow every night when the actors go, yeah, there you go.
He's such a ham, he needs more than one.
You need more instant gratification than that.
For me, and it was like, you know what? I just told my wife, you get 5 years more for I'm on this for this one. And I got a part, which I was really surprised. I think the first time out, I probably won't get it, but I did, and I had so much fun.
Now, who did the casting for this production?
Jack
Burns. Okay. And Christina, how did you get involved in this?
I'm originally from Vicksburg, and when I was here in high school, I did a lot of musicals at Warren Central, and then me and my husband actually left for about 17 years. And when we came back here, we came back so that he could get a job here in town, but I really didn't have anything, and I was coming straight from working every day, and I thought, oh my God, I'm going to be bored to tears, what will I do with myself? And so actually a week after I moved into town, his wife Tracy said, you know, we have this, we're trying to do Rocky at the Westside Theatre, why don't you join us? And I said, okay. And I had been in town for a week when I went to the audition.
Wow. And so y'all just kind of all came together from different...
Well, kind of. Actually, I was friends with Rick's sister. Just half her husband.
Oh, okay. So there's some connection there.
Now, I just met these guys.
Yeah. Now, John, can you tell me a little bit about the history of this building and this particular theater?
Well, the Strand, actually this building has been here since the 1890s. In 1934, the owner of the building, who was running it as like some kind of dry goods store, decided to split it in half and put a theater in over here on this side. So he split his store in half and built the Strand Theatre in 1934. It was open to the public in 1934. It ran as a theater, as a movie theater, until I think it was 1966, somewhere around there. And then it was closed down again, and it stayed vacant for a long time. And then in the 80s, some historical group picked it up and started doing what they call Vanishing Glory in here, which was basically a film presentation about the Civil War. When they did that, they made a lot of renovations to the theater that weren't good for us, but they blocked off the stage. They had, right here where this arch is, they had a wall coming straight down. Doing their films on that, and they had also blocked off the balcony, so they made it like a really small room. So when we came in, the first thing we had to do was tear this wall down and tear that wall down. And there used to be a tech booth in the back there. We tore it down so we could move it upstairs.
Now, did y'all actually do the physical work yourselves?
Yes.
So in addition to rehearsing for this production, you've been doing manual construction labor with no air conditioning?
I don't know about you, but I'm kind of proud of how many hand tools I've learned to operate.
The saw.
Exactly. And I know we do have we have some great people aside from us, because we by no means are the only people doing this, but we have some great people who are helping us out. I know we have Stacy, who's been a complete
Stacy
wonder.
Schrader is our project manager, and she's awesome. I've never seen her. She's a school teacher, but I think she missed her college. She should have been a construction engineer.
Absolutely.
She
She's
is awesome.
overcoming her fear of heights right now. She's using this as
She would have to.
self-improvement. She's up on scaffolding during the day.
She would have to, because that's a good...
And then Jack Burns, who's here probably 18 hours a day working either by himself or with anybody else that happens to show up and help.
We just have crews coming in and out. People, volunteers just show up, you know, some morning, some night, just all throughout the day.
It's kind of like the Academy Awards. You don't want to throw out too many names in case you forget somebody.
Right.
There's so many
A lot of
people who've been
Just like Westside's actually turned into a large troupe, and just about everybody.
We've grown so much. When I joined the group, the first show I did was Chicago, and it was a pretty small group then, but since then, every show we do, we probably gain 15 to 20 people, you know, so it's like it becomes a large family, and that's what it is now. We're at the point now where we can do more than one show at a time. We're in rehearsal for Little Abner at the Vicksburg Hotel right now, so we actually have 2 shows in rehearsal at the same time.
That's fantastic. Now, how is I understand you have a lot of volunteers doing the construction. How are you funding the purchase of all the materials? Has that been donated, or?
No, mainly, it's mainly Jack Burns who's used his private funds to do it. We are in the process of right now becoming a nonprofit organization. Our 501c3 paperwork is being filed, and at that time, then we'll be looking for grants and donations and that kind of thing. But right now, it's basically sweat of our own brow and Jack Burns.
I know there have been donations along the way for materials.
The air conditioning unit was donated too.
I wasn't.
The electrician was volunteer.
We have volunteer electricians.
That's great. What's the draw? Why do you want to come and spend your time doing construction in no air conditioning?
Well, it's good talk.
You know, really, there's 2 things. First of all, this building is fantastic. And
Yes.
to see it in additions when it's sat here and I hadn't been using here. And to see it like that when so many things could be happening here, that's one of the main things. And also, we've outgrown our decor room theater over there, which we still love and still consider home, but we've just outgrown it. It's time for something bigger. And so Jack had been shopping around actually for a while for a bigger venue. And this one just kind of happened by accident. He came and talked to Mr. Allred next door who owns the building. And Mr. Allred was like all for having something done in here, and he's been really great. That's another thing too, is he's been really great. I want to mention his name, Malcolm Allred. He's been fantastic in letting us come in here and do basically whatever we want to do to this place to bring people back into it again.
And like John mentioned before, this is just, once we saw the script, this is just a really great show. I mean, it's surprising. There's so many shows that everybody's really comfortable with and they know very well. And this was one that we didn't really know, and we read it, and it was so smart, it was so funny. And so we were talking about this just the other day. We're actually kind of jazzed about doing it. We're kind of glad we're a part of it. And then we have, the Westside Theatre, crew that comes to help us, whether it's technical backstage or helping us change costumes or whatever. And they'll look at us and say, "This is a really great show." So
It's
we've been
funny.
dying.
It's very funny.
There's so many scenes that you'll see yourself into, we're like, ooh, I've been in that situation before.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
You will see yourself in at least one and probably more.
I can't wait to see it. I'm going to be here Friday night.
it's an awesome show.
I'm going to plan on it.
Everybody to come out, please.
As I sit here and look around at the surroundings, it makes me think of, I've been to a few Broadway plays and some off-Broadway, and I remember a few years ago I went to see Stomp, and I don't remember the name of the theater, but the stage was much smaller than this. That was a hugely successful production in New York. And have any of y'all seen that on stage in New York? Okay. The stage is much, much smaller than this, and the seating is hardly any more than this. And you think you're going to go to New York and sit in these big fancy theaters, and you are going to spend hundreds of dollars even in a little theater like this. But I mean, maybe y'all could be in New York next, or maybe this could be Broadway.
Well, I don't know if you've ever been to the Courtroom Theater in Pittsburgh.
I have not.
We have no plans to give it up. I mean, we're going to keep it, and it will still have some shows, but it's kind of got the same appeal to it. It's a very small venue, and it's very intimate. We have the ability to set it up for chairs, or set up for tables, so we're not giving up that little tiny theater either. So I know the appeal is.
Yes, very much so. Is there anything I haven't asked any of you that you want to be sure to tell us all before we kind of wrap up this interview?
Mainly, I just want to again invite everybody out to the show and to let you know that I don't know if you know Candace Palmertree, but she's our in-house chef. I guess the best way to put it. She always caters all of our events for us.
Yes.
She's awesome. Brandy's awesome, and she will be providing snack foods and stuff like that for opening night. And she always has an open bar, so if you'd like to drink wine or beer or whatever mixed drinks, she always has all that. Yeah, it's open.
And give us the dates.
Cash bar.
Give us the dates again.
It's June the 17th. We open at 7:30. June the 17th. We ask everyone to get here about 30 minutes earlier. If you'd like to come earlier and have drinks or whatever before the show, that's fine.
This Friday, the opening night, there will be a little party, a little reception out front, just to open the theater again. So it actually kind of starts around 6 o'clock.
Okay. So it's going to run Friday the 17th, and what other days?
Saturday, 18th and 19th.
Saturday and Sunday,
Right.
18th and 19th.
At 7:30.
Okay.
And then the following weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday at 7:30.
Okay, so don't miss it. It's only running 6 days.
Right.
Time can slip away.
You can call 601-618-9349 for ticket reservations. 601-618-9349.
And how much are tickets?
They're $15.
Well, that's a bargain.
That's awesome.
You can't do anything for fun for $15.
Not this much fun.
No, not this much fun. Jennifer, you've been very quiet. Surely you have something else to tell us. I saw you back there playing the piano. Are you doing?
That's not me. I wasn't playing the piano.
That wasn't you playing the piano?
Tracy Gardner.
Oh, okay. That was your wife.
I think
Okay.
Anybody would enjoy seeing the show, and they need to come out and see it. It's very funny. It's full of energy. It's entertaining, and you will not be bored.
Great. And y'all are in it.
That's why it's entertaining.
thank y'all so much for joining me today for coffee, and I can hardly wait to see the production, and good luck to all of you.
Thank you.
Promotional consideration provided by
Amber Sanders from Happy Hair. Get your hair happy at 3402 Wisconsin Avenue.